follow one path. They find a single passion, a single purpose, and they follow it steadfastly. But then there are those rare souls who are boundless, who refuse to be placed in a box and create without limits, who dream in multiple dimensions. Their work is not just about building a brand, but creating a legacy. Their hands shape beauty, their vision captures truth, and their voice carries the stories of generations before them while creating space for the next. They don't ask for permission to exist in these spaces. They claim it and they know that it's theirs. Nas'tassia Simpson is one of those visionaries, a storyteller, a creator, an entrepreneur, a woman who proves that passion and purpose are not meant to be confined. And I'm honored to welcome today the incomparable Nas'tassia Simpson.
Thank you so much. You just made me blush so hard. That was beautiful, very eloquent.
Thank you.
Honestly,
I'm
you did that.
I'm so happy you're here. Your creativity is often sparked by something deep. I think we see all of that within our art and artists in general. A memory, a calling, a need to express something that words cannot. Before the businesses, before the following, before the audience, before the world knew your name, what first awakened your desire to create?
It honestly came from a place of need. Like I was bumping into a lot of things where I couldn't find what I wanted that already existed in the world, and it frustrated me, especially as a black woman, where I felt like whatever our needs were really pushed to the wayside. And it disappointed me so much. And I would say it's out of need and just like frustration and anger maybe was my biggest starting point. And it took a lot for me to like shift it out of that viewpoint into something a little bit more gentle because I love leaning on my anger, but sometimes like the things that come out of it are not created in the best intention. So, not saying that it wasn't necessary for the time, but um, since then I've shifted into like different viewpoints on how I can like bounce off of that. But it was out of need for sure, feeling ignored maybe.
Mm-hmm. I love that you felt your anger and you kind of allowed it to push you into your art too, because sometimes we're afraid of that, and to learn from it, I think, is a really powerful thing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not. It's also just such a consuming emotion that it's hard to take your feet out of it and like figure out what your why is behind it.
Yeah. And speaking of your art, one thing I love about your photography is it's not just about capturing moments, but it's preserving emotion and it's telling a story, holding history in a single frame. What draws you to storytelling through images, and what do you hope your audience feels when they see your work?
So admittedly, my memory is kind of shifty. And I think taking creating images really came from that space initially. It's just really wanting to remember all of the beautiful things that I see in the world or the things that make me just like take a moment. I feel like whenever something like that captures my eye, um, I really just want to either remember it or like make it sentimental in some way, make it meaningful to me somehow. Um, because those are the little things that inspire me the most, that make me want to continue, and then just keeps me curious. Makes me feel connected to the human experience.
I love that, feeling connected to the human experience, because sometimes you can feel so distant from it. You're like, why am I here and what is going on?
What is going on? But then you look around and like you see all of these other people having not the same experience, but having experiences, and you're like, I know that this is just like a blip in our like timeline that we're crossing over right now, but you have a whole life that you're dealing with. Like I'm dealing with my own, and I just know that whatever it is crazy, it's intense, and it's confusing because a lot of us don't really know. We're just trying to figure it out. Um, and those are the things that I think about when I'm taking or in creating images, just like experiencing moments.
Mm. To adorn oneself is to declare presence, to take up space, to celebrate beauty in its boldest form. You're an iconic model. You've crafted headpieces that feel like crowns and not just accessories. And through each design, you have told your truth in that moment. What does curating those pieces feel like to you?
That's such a good question. So I think it really started with me doing my hair. I braid my hair really often, and I was doing it out of necessity at the time because I was like young. I just wanted a different hairstyle. I'm like 18. I want to experiment. Um, but eventually it became a thing where like it felt like a ritual where I was just taking a couple hours away from the world and just really locking into whatever it is that I'm doing for myself or just like creating. And that felt really good, to not be connected to my phone or anyone else. So I think that honestly made me realize that I shift between like being hyper connected with people and the experiences around me and then going like completely into my own space and my own world for hours at a time because I think I need that. I just need that for my balance, for myself.
And if you're not creating it for yourself, who's going to do it?
Exactly. Like I tell myself that every day, like if not me, then who? If I'm not feeling if someone isn't filling my cup, who's filling it? It has to be somebody. I can't just keep looking around like, well, who's gonna take care of me? I need to take care of me. So I try to make sure of that as often as possible, because for my creative process and for just myself and my existence, I definitely just need a moment. I just need a moment.
We all just need a moment.
Need a moment.
Speaking of taking care of yourself, you just moved into your new location of Nas'tassia Skin in Brooklyn Heights. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a crazy, crazy journey, and I'm still honestly just shocked to be here.
Yes. No, TenTwo Studios, it's your baby. You've said in past clips that building a clientele in a space that wasn't yours was really difficult. And now you made it happen. And what was that like finding home in Nastasia Skin?
I would say it's definitely been a process in its own because when you're starting off something new, you don't really know what avenue you want to take, what kind of it was more of like a what kind of esthetician do I want to be? Because there's so many ways to go about this industry, and I wanted to just take my time and make sure that whatever it is that I'm sharing with people or like wanting people to consume into was beneficial not just to me but to them as well. So that's a big priority for me, is that I want it to be like mutually beneficial. Like obviously I need to pay my bills, but at the same time, whatever it is that I'm selling you or like wanting you to experience is going to be worth your time. Um, so from there, after figuring that out, and then I think what I do, like my process of growing, I've noticed in different parts of my life, is that I will just experiment. I just have to put myself in different situations to see what it is that I like about it and what it is that I don't like about it so that I can come to a conclusion to know exactly what it is that I want. And me hopping around different studio spaces was just that. I don't really like to commit to a big thing unless I really know that that's where I want to continue to exist in. And spaces are really important to me. How things feel around me are really important to me, especially if I have to spend a lot of time there. So I was just taking my time these past 3 years, just really feeling out different spaces, what I wanted to feel when I was going to work or my workspace, and then what my clients would feel, what their experience would be like coming to see me. Because, like I said, I do want it to be mutually beneficial. If you are taking a moment to take care of yourself, I want you to feel like your entire process, as much as I can control, is like smooth sailing and comfortable. Like I want whenever you step off of your car or your train and you're in the neighborhood that everything feels clean, you feel refreshed, you're just like, it's leisure. And I think all of the senses kind of play into that for me. And so I like to lock in on that and figure out how to curate the most pristine experience so that when you come and see me, like the whole thing has been just really nice. And that led me to TenTwo Studios for sure. Me and my business partner sat down 3 years ago and we talked about just what we wanted for ourselves, and a lot of what we wanted aligned. She's a lot like me when it comes to spaces, and you can see it in TenTwo Studios, just based on how we designed and picked out all of the things and the aesthetic and just how it feels. And so when we walked into that space, we were like, immediately saw the potential. We immediately knew that was the spot, and it took like 6 to 7 months for the actual fruit to come out of all of this, but it was definitely worth the wait. And we are so excited to be there. We signed the lease for 10 years. That's how you know we like it. We signed the lease for
Wow.
10 years because we're like, yeah, this is exactly what we were looking for.
Mm.
It's exactly what we were looking for. Um, so yeah, we're really excited. We're really excited.
Wow.
hmm
10 years.
10
What
years.
does what does that feel like knowing this is it?
It was. I still like. I'm like, this is such a. I'm like, this is such a big commitment for me. This is such a big commitment for me, but it's just the deal was just too sweet. It's just like it's literally everything that we wanted. Um, the only setback is that we know that what we want to do, we'll probably outgrow the space really quickly, just because a lot of people are already in love with it, and we've just begun. So we're definitely going to need a bigger space really soon. But this will always be like something that we'll always have in our back pocket, and I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful, like very quaint space to start community. It's gonna feel cozy, and that's exactly what we wanted. So
Yeah. Well, it's part of the journey now. Now it's
hmm
part of the journey. And skincare is so deeply intimate, and it's a ritual. It's our self-care, and everyone has their own journey with it. Nastasia's skin is so rejuvenating. I've experienced it myself. But it's a calling and an extension of your journey. And as a Black business owner, these spaces weren't made for us. But here you are, standing loud, standing proud, breaking barriers, and you're giving back, you're educating, you're serving your community. You also give employees of Black owned businesses a discount. And how is the business a reflection of the community that you are building?
we really just want to integrate as much of our beliefs as possible. And I think that in itself is a process because we're learning, we're still growing, so we're figuring out what it is that we even like. But when we had that conversation 3 years ago, when we talked about just like our moral beliefs and what was important to us as two Jamaican Black women living in a space like New York, and then wanting to even explore being international and like returning home and doing something there. It's just like all of the things that we had talked about aligned immediately. Like we both want to not only have a space that feels safe for our community to exist and to learn and to educate, but also be able to provide other people that are in this industry a space to grow their own businesses, because we know how hard it is trying to find a space like this. It's like, especially in New York, we want to go to Jamaica and start a business there and provide like some economic support to the people and to the land that we came from. And so it has a lot to do with things like that. And then just, I think for me, at least, providing a resource in so many different ways. Just another resource for people to tap into, because I think that is really what a support system is and what a community is that you bring whatever your talents are to the table and offer it, and whoever needs it will reach. So yeah, we're running with that.
I love it. I love it. Returning home is so important.
Mm-hmm.
To balance so many creative ventures, I feel like is to hold so many different versions of yourself. And I admire you for that because you're the artist, you're the entrepreneur, you're Nastasia, you're a visionary. How do you navigate the weight of your own ambition while still dreaming of what can and should be? Is the balancing of all of the versions of yourself an act of resilience?
Yes, only because I want to do everything. I want to do everything right now, and I just don't want to not do. And it is very challenging. I'm not gonna lie. I still don't have my balance all the way together. If there's always one area of my life that's kind of suffering, is I either like I haven't talked to my family in a really long time, or I haven't really spent time with my friends, or like I just haven't spent a lot of time doing photography, or I haven't spent a lot of time studying for being an esthetician. It's just like, which one am I gonna do? And then I also like to have extracurricular activities, and like my brain needs to explore, and so I try to. What I'm trying to do right now is just trying to like create the best schedule I can for myself. Um, I just recently watched this YouTube video that was talking about if you invest like 18 minutes of your day into whatever it is that you want to master, then you'll be able to master that thing in probably, I don't know how many days it said, but it said it was like 400 or like a year or something. So if you take 18 minutes a day in a year, that you will be able to master whatever it is that you're setting out to do. And I was like, okay, so I just need 18 minutes, technically. Technically, I only need 18 minutes of a thing. But I like to also let my brain wander too. I kind of just get up and think about. Initially, I like plan my week out, but then on the day of, I'll get up and think about things that I really want to attend to, and I try to attend to those things, because when you feel like you want to do something, I feel like it's the best time to do it. um, but also finding balance between forcing myself to do things that are a little bit outside of my comfort zone is, I think, what is making all of this work for me right now. It's just there's never really a right time to start anything, and I'm committed to that idea, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter if I feel ready or comfortable, or if I don't have all the things, I'm just gonna do it, and eventually I will get all the things, because I'm gonna need them eventually anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
No, I mean, yeah, everything you said, yes. You're just picking up tools and you're putting them in your tool basket as you go. And you're like, today this feels good, tomorrow that feels good.
Right.
In an era where content is fleeting and our attention spans are currency,
Mhm.
you've managed to create a presence that feels so grounded and intimate and real. How do you maintain your authenticity in a digital space that often prioritizes performance over our truth?
I've noticed that, like, I announce myself a lot online. Like, I'll say what it is that I'm trying to do, because I don't like smokes and mirrors. I don't like feeling like someone's trying to pull one over on me. And so I try to at least give my audience permission to either tune in if they want to, or if they don't want to pay attention to something like what I'm trying to talk about that day, they could leave. I'm not offended. That's just, at least I'm not trying to force you or manipulate you into buying something, or staying on my profile and watching longer. So I think that is my main approach. I'll usually just announce myself. Like yesterday, on Mondays in particular, I is like my most free day, my most mentally free day as well. Because that's when I really allow myself to do whatever I want to do. Like all of my rest of my days are pretty structured, but on Mondays in particular, I will really, if I want to lay down all day, I will. Or if I just want to spend my day like making sure that I'm eating properly and like drinking lots of water, I'll do that. Um, and I just will let people know. I let people know yesterday. I was like, I really don't want to like sell anything today. I don't really want to teach you anything. I just kind of want to like post random memes of like how I'm feeling and maybe some food because I've been eating a lot, and that's what we're gonna do today. And so I think that um, makes people feel comfortable because they're like, oh, okay, like okay, this is what Nastasia is doing today. I understand. I can see where she's going with this. If I'm gonna be on a rant, like usually people will know that I'm about to like I have something to say. I'll announce myself.
I love that. Be bold in who you are.
Exactly.
No one builds something great alone. We all know that community, mentorship, and the shared sacred knowledge, these are all quiet forces behind success. Who has poured into you along your journey, and how do you ensure that you're doing the same for the people that are around you and for the people coming up next?
That's that's a question I've been actually thinking about as of late because I feel like I've been in a position where I've just receiving a lot of things, um, and I'm not in a space to be as giving as I would like to be. Just because things are shifting, and this TenTwo Studios is just taking off, so I'm trying to be patient and give those spaces an opportunity to grow and develop. But as far as like people who are pouring into me, I'm still learning how to receive help. It is it's just like not an uncomfortable space, but uncomfortable isn't the word that I'm looking for, but it's just like a space where requires you to like lean in more into trusting um, more than normal. And not surprisingly, I have a lot of people in my life that see my vision. I don't know if it's because I talk about it a lot or or they just see my ambition and want to support me. But I would say one of my biggest supporters is definitely my partner CJ. He pours into me in ways that I cannot describe. Um, he's just very reliable and helpful. I call him my manager because I'm really not that organized with my time, but he is very structured. um, he's also, I would say, that one of my biggest like networkers. Like he not only puts me on to a lot of amazing, cool, great artists, but also talks about me in rooms that I'm not in often. Um, and that's really all I can ask from people who want to support me is just like just talk about me. You owe me nothing, but if you like the things that I'm doing and you think that it would be helpful in another space, just have a chat, um, but yeah, definitely CJ. He's amazing. I would say my business partner Georgia also is like one of those types of people as well who she like fuels all of the things that I care about. Like we're both estheticians, but she knows that I do photography. She knows that I model, and she is always in my corner wanting to support me in any and all of my endeavors. In ways that I also like was not expecting, and that feels so validating. Um, and something that I think people like me need when we're doing so much. It always feels a little crazy because you're like, why are you doing so much? You can really just pick one and be amazing at it. But no, you want to do five things. And then there's a person over in the corner like, you can do all five of those things. Why not? And you're like, okay, okay, I'm not crazy then. I can do all five things. Thank you. um, to them too, for sure. My parents and CJ's parents also great. Like our family base is really Um, it's just really firstly vibrant, and I think that just having people, especially your family and immediate family, that want to be involved in your life and are checking on you and praying for you and like trying to support you in any way that they can feels really good too. Because it always just feels good as a child for your parents to believe in you. It's like the one thing that we probably want, to believe in you and trust in like whatever decisions you make. So just having that from all of the sides has been, it feels like a really safe space, and I think that is really helping me continue to push forward, honestly, and in such a trying time.
Yeah. As you stand, having built multiple ventures, having lived through so many triumphs and challenges, how has your definition of success evolved? And looking ahead, what dreams are you still chasing?
So my definition of success has evolved from like getting to a specific place to now just understanding that I can manifest anything that I want as long as I pour time and energy and my belief into it. And that feels really reassuring because I'm like, okay, as long as I spend some time and I care about it enough and I want it badly enough and I know that I'm going to get it, then eventually I will. I don't know when, but eventually it'll happen because I'm working on it. Uh, and then my dreams. I mean, I think that I've compartmentalized parts of my life so that in every decade I have something to do. um, which I don't know if it's crazy or not, but I just like kind of wanted to plan my life out in that way, just to have things to look forward to. I think that helps push me forward. I want to start a farm. You guys heard it here first. I want to start a farm in Jamaica. I want to start a farm in Jamaica. I won't tell too many details yet because it's actually quite shocking whenever it does happen. But basically, I want to start a farm and spend some more time there. I still have a lot of family that live there. My grandmother lives there. She's getting older, and like I really haven't been able to connect with um, my dad's side of family as much as I'd want to in this lifetime. So I've been really thinking about a way that I can spend more time there and still be able to like afford to live. um, Definitely would. I can see having a TenTwo studios in Jamaica could definitely be a thing, um, alongside our farm, and probably other things too. But want to expand a little bit more internationally for sure. Me and Georgia both want to go study a bit more to get our international aesthetics license, because we'll need it for working in different countries. Um, so we will probably be international at some point, maybe within the next 2 years. Yes, we have things to do. We have things to do, but we essentially just want to create, for TenTwo Studio specifically, want to create studios in parts of the world that we care about, that make it accessible for people in our community, and then for people in the wellness industry that just need a space to start, because we won't be spending all of our time in any of these spaces. It's really just for everyone, ideally.
I'm so excited for the farm. Can I just say, I'm
Thank
gonna come
you.
visit y'all. I'll be in Trinidad. I'll hop over to Jamaica. We'll go to the farm.
Please, please. We're gonna have horses.
Yes. Oh my God. Nastasia, your journey is a testament to the power of an unshakable vision, to know that anything you could ever dream or think of, you can do, and to see what happens to a woman when she refuses to shrink or fit in anyone's box, that is so inspiring. And You deserve everything. You deserve of what is to be, and you're so worthy. And I'm so grateful that you came here today. And thank you for sharing your story with us, that you don't just have to do one thing, you can do everything. And no matter how complex or layered it is, our stories are worth telling. Nas'tassia Simpson, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate spending time with you here and for allowing me to express myself a little bit more.